Would it be newsworthy? Would anybody pay attention? I understand that the Treasury has a reissue on a note that's just supposed to disappear after it comes due. Yeah, the date of issue and the date of due were reissued to be the same. Was it just a typo? I don't believe it was just a typo. I believe that there is right now a very specific period where people are engaged in acts of economic engineering that involve significant crimes and that they intend to dump the evidence once they've hooked it up. And that there's a particular current or a particular account that's open for a temporary period of time that you can place deals on and in accordance with that will be connected to other accounts. But once that account closes, the record of that account is going to be disappeared. And then the other things that got set up, well, you're not going to be able to verify the source and you're not going to be able to verify the point of origin. So if something ends up looking, well, that looked kind of weird. Yeah, it does. It especially looks kind of weird if you understand there was a Black Ops account opened up for a temporary period of time when things were allowed to be put up in conjunction with that. And the question then becomes, did the people who just did what they did know what they were doing? One person sends in something, another person sends in something, whoever is posting at the time frame. Are they intentionally manipulating the posting of public comments and putting the order of those public comments the way they are at the time they are, encoding them with the specific metrics they are in order to allow for a particular window of time where things can be engineered, especially if there's an understanding that in the course of these timelines, within 72 hours, of the cessation of a particular, shall we say, order, right? Place your orders, and then there are 72 hours to start clearing them off and realigning and reconfiguring them before that account closes, and then the evidence gone, and whatever you got, right? Because I believe that's exactly what's happening right now. And I believe the people who did that know exactly what they're doing. It's very significant, right? Now, I think that this is going to be the third post in this series. And I think that, what I'm supposed to do is one, two, it's kind of critical. I went to that third account. It's lined up differently on the actual order sheet, but I can deposit it into my own Black Ops account. If I were to ping this into something, which account would I send it to in order to have the least amount of suspicion and the greatest leverage, right? What would give me the greatest margin in order to be able to get my needs met and to get the return, especially if I'm able to swap it? If I can accrue something very, very serious, a serious liability, especially something really, really nasty, right? Something so terrible that I would never, ever want anybody to know that I did it. Something that would be totally against everything everybody believes I stand for. But I know there's a temporary period of time where I can get together that dirty bomb, or I can get together that really, really nasty, horrible, horrible deal. And I can make it really, really significant and then hook it up to swap it out with something somebody else has that makes it appear that I got what I wanted, right? What's the worst thing you could possibly hook up a finance deal on that you want to make sure all evidence of the process by which it was hooked up is disappeared so nobody even knows it happened? Especially if you're able to coordinate it and parse it up on a schedule so that it actually gets delivered as what seems to be random events that can then come back in the form of calamities or catastrophes that necessitate an insurance payout. And now we've got so much more to go with in the insurance realm: cyber insurance, sexual harassment insurance. They even have crime and criminal activity insurance. You can get insurance to cover your company from prosecutions for crimes. What account of my own would I want to post the swap out? What do I want to get in return? Do I want my cell phone back? Do I want my watch? How about my students I used to teach? The first group, the second group, the third group, the fourth group? Do I get my students back if I keep quiet and I allow these records to be confidentialized? Because I did a really good job. I got a lot of information. I figured out a lot of really nasty, terrible things. If I agree to keep it quiet, will you give me my students back? Will you help me get the medication so that they can just forget what they actually saw? Oh, wait, I can't do that because I already know that embedded in somebody's electronic files and in their electronic correspondences, which are supposed to be the official record for the United States of America, there's already a formula for trafficking my students if they get that mental health diagnosis. And there's probably already a copyright on the specific prescription that could be correlated via spying on them through the Department of Homeland Security. And depending on how good they look when they're being tormented in a certain way, that can include acts of electronic sexual violence. But if they're good and stay with the program, they might get a different prescription, and that prescription might get swapped out to somebody else. Yeah. I'm going to post this information to every single account of mine that has ever been made public, including the ones that were stolen from me, including the ones I can't access. As of midnight tonight, I go viral, and there's no immunity.